There we go. I've tried this a couple times now. I wanted to put out something because lately we've spent a lot of time auditing, and I've personally spent a lot of time auditing businesses' kind of ecosystem in relation to their web architecture. What's in place for their websites and their digital presence? What are they paying for? What can they get rid of? What can they change? What can be more efficient? And something that's come up quite a bit, I'd say, in the past 2 or 3 years are businesses that are bought into this model where they're renting a website for a long period of time. So there's a lot of big media agencies and media companies that have these rent a website models where you basically pay a fee every month for a website as opposed to having your own website, paying to get it developed. And there's a few things that we've run into and that I've seen personally throughout the past year or so, and especially now as we really start to audit these infrastructure and the environments that businesses are getting hosted under, is that it's not always of the best interest of your business. They seem great up front because of the price point, but there's a few things that cause some issues as you're trying to adapt, and especially as the keyword right now is pivot, and that's the catchphrase everyone's talking about, having to pivot right now, and it's very difficult to do so when you've bought into that rent a website framework model where it's basically a template driven situation where you're not able to make changes. So the first big thing you need to think about if you are engaging in a rent a website model is the fact that you can't make a lot of technical changes to the website and change how it's built. So if you need to create a new conversion point on your website, it's very difficult sometimes to be able to send that data back to the ad platform so that they can optimize and you can get more return out of your ad spend. Even we found creating lead gen forms, implementing new, whether you want to create a mail list or a newsletter, and implementing a third party can be difficult. And there's a lot of those things that don't necessarily always work with that model. The second thing is just the price point. You end up paying a lot of money over a long period of time for a website that you don't really know if it's performing or not, but you get stuck with the website because you're hesitant to leave the situation because you believe the business that you are currently getting depends on that rented website. And then the third thing is the fact that you really don't own it. In a lot of these cases, we've had when we've helped businesses transition out of a rented website model from an agency or from a company that they've bought into, they end up realizing that, hey, I don't even own my website. The data exists within their hosting accounts, within their domain registrar accounts. They're managing the DNS, and you literally don't have access to anything when it comes time to cut that tie. So it's important to think about that. It's owning your website is actually much more important than you think, especially if you're looking to get a lot of longevity out of your website and have it built so that it can last quite a bit of time. The trend is that, and statistically, that like every 3 to 4 years, you probably want to give your site a little bit of a refresh, but there's things you can put in place when you actually own the data to do refreshes that are much more cost affordable. So that's what I wanted to put out today. If you're in one of those rented situations, just message me because I love to talk about how you can